Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Alicia, and I'm auditioning for the role of your new book bestie. Today, we're diving in to a 24-hour thriller reading marathon challenge, whatever you want to call it. But this is my first 24-hour challenge on this channel, and let me tell you guys, this will not be the last. I know by the end of this, I will probably be very fatigued on reading, but I think I also will have gotten so much reading done that I'm going to be very happy with my results. And the reason we are doing thrillers is because if you saw my TBR jar picking out my April reads video, you saw that the jar, destiny, whatever you want to call it, fate, picked out literally only thriller books for me for this month. So I am just rolling with it, and I figured we would do a 24-hour only reading thrillers challenge. But we're gonna make this 24-hour challenge a little more cozy, a little more chill, because your girl needs sleep. I turn into a complete monster if I don't get my sleep. I'm not even joking. I'm a literally different person. 100%. Let me know in the comments if you can relate. So instead, we are going to be doing 8 hours over 3 days starting today. So let's go ahead and talk about the lineup that we've got today. The thrillers that my TBR jar picked out for me are The Haunting of Ashburn House, The God of the Woods, and we'll get into each of the books and what they're about in just a second. No One Can Know, The Retreat, and The Sanatorium. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I actually have already read The Sanatorium. I finished it up last night, and I will have a full review / my thoughts on this in my monthly wrap up for April when I get that done, you know, when April's over and I've read all the books. All I'm going to say right now is that it did not get a high rating for me, and I was so close to DNFing. The only reason that I think I didn't end up DNFing is because I was listening to it on audiobook, and I could do other things while I was listening to it. If I had to sit down and just read this book, I could not have done it. I don't think so. Anyways, if you want to hear me hate on a book, watch my monthly wrap up when that comes out. But I did not like that book at all. And that I needed to say to preface that this book, The Retreat, which literally follows the exact same main character as in The Sanatorium, it's just a different like detective case, and it's written by the same author, obviously. This was also picked by my TBR jar, and I'm already going to just DNF it because if I have to sit through The Sanatorium but different, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, you couldn't pay me enough. I'm not doing it at all, ever. When I tell you guys, I do not know how that book has so much hype. I was looking up the good. You know what? I'm going to save this all for the monthly wrap up. So check that out when it comes out. But anyways, so those two, one of them I've already read and the other one I'm absolutely not going to read. No, thank you. Thank you. Next. So the next book, and one that I'm actually excited to read, is No One Can Know. Little synopsis of what we are to expect when we dive into this book is two sisters, one murdery house, and so many secrets. Our main character, Emma, is broke, pregnant, so naturally she moves back to her childhood home where her parents were murdered, because that makes all of the sense. So obviously super cozy vibes. Now the sisters are reunited, but not in a cute rom-com kind of way. More like in an are you hiding something kind of way, like I know what you did last summer type of vibes. I will say that I'm debating between reading this and listening to the audiobook because, or maybe doing both, because I was able to get the audiobook somehow by some stroke of fate, because literally I had been checking for this book on Libby like over and over, and then literally just randomly today it was available in audiobook form. I kind of freaked out. I was like, that's amazing. So I think that will end up being my audiobook for this 24-hour readathon. Oh, and I will say it's raining outside, so it's the perfect mood for this vlog, which makes me even more excited for it. Now let's talk about our next read of this vlog, which is The God of the Woods. A girl disappears from a summer camp in 1975. Her brother vanished years ago from the same place. Coincidence? Not in a thriller, babe. So in this book, we've got rich people, dark woods, generational secrets, and that classic everyone's lying but no one really knows why type of energy. Darcy Coates I have read before, and she's more of a cozy horror or thriller vibes. I was more excited about this book until I randomly decided to look up some Goodreads reviews last night, and some people were saying that it's less haunted house vibes and more zombie vibes for some reason. When I tell you guys I am not a zombie girl, I have never been able to get into zombie stuff. I'm just not into it. I love like vampires and
where the hell have you been, Loka?
Even werewolves and stuff like that, but zombies, I just
oh no.
Can't get behind. The only zombie movie I ever liked was that one where it's like a romance. Warm Bodies. I love Warm Bodies, but that's the only zombie movie I've ever liked, and I've never read a zombie book before, so I don't know how this ends up being about zombies, but apparently zombies come into play. But essentially the storyline of this book is our main character Adrian inherits a creepy house from a dead aunt she didn't even know existed. It's falling apart, the town is acting weird, and of course, like, all the lights start flickering. Oh, and the walls are covered in cryptic messages. Somehow, zombies are involved.
Tell me how.
Honestly, I'm curious if I'm going to end up DNFing this or if I'm going to actually finish it through and if I'm going to like it, because I've liked other Darcy Coates books before, mostly for the vibe. Like, people say that, but it's so true. Like, her vibe, the atmosphere when she writes books is usually pretty, like, spooky, but in a cozy way, which is kind of comforting, like, if you're not in the mood for really being terrified. So those are the 3 books that we are going to be focusing on in this reading vlog. Let's go ahead and get reading. Hey guys, I am here with an update on God of the Woods. I'm not very far. I'm not even to 100 pages, but I wanted to update you guys. One, because I want to show you my bookmark. Hold on. Can you guys hear that thunder? Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys, it is the most rainy, best day to be filming this. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys this Death by TBR sticker that I'm using as a bookmark for this specific book because I thought it kind of fit the vibe. So far, this book, especially coming off of reading The Sanatorium, this book is so freaking good. So throughout the book, there are technically different chapters. There are different people's points of view. It keeps changing every chapter, but in the contents, there's 7, I guess you would call them, parts to the book. And we have finished the first part called Barbara. It sets up this camp that's owned by a rich family. So Barbara, who the part is named after, is the rich people that own the camp's daughter. Her older brother is the one that had gone missing previously. We also get the point of view of Alice, who is Barbara's mother, and we get to kind of see her point of view. Some of it takes place before Barbara goes to camp, and then some of it takes place after Barbara has gone missing, but it goes back and forth between June 1975 and then August of 1975 when she goes missing. We also get to look through the point of view of Louise, who is basically, from what I'm gathering, she's like the head camp counselor. I think there are other camp counselors, but she's at least the one in charge of Barbara's group or whatever, somehow. We're also following the point of view of Tracy, and she is basically a girl who is also going to the camp with Barbara, and we get a little look into her life. The way that the writer writes these characters and we get to see the different points of view is so awesome. It feels very fleshed out, very well written. At first, I thought all of these different points of view would be confusing, but I'm telling you, it's really not. Like, if you just sit down and focus, it's not that confusing. But the point of view of Tracy is she is also going to the camp. She ends up being bunkmates with Barbara. Bear is the name of Barbara's brother that went missing, I think when he was 8 years old, because I think he just went missing. He didn't, like, nobody found him or anything. I forgot. We also get into the point of view of this villain character that I'm not completely sure yet what role he will play. I am thinking that he may end up being a false lead into who the villain is, because I have read a lot of thrillers and I feel like a lot of the time the person who you most expect, it's not that person. And so far, I mean, we've only gotten one chapter in his point of view, but so far he has kind of been set up as like, did he do this or was it him? I don't know. I'm already gonna say that I don't think it was him. I won't tell you guys what ends up happening, but I'm just gonna say I don't think that the missing people have anything to do with him. But then again, I'm kind of like, why would she include his point of view if he didn't do it? Like, what does he have to do with everything? But I'm so excited to start part 2, Bear, because I'm hoping we're gonna dive into his disappearance, because it has not been mentioned like at all. It's been glazed over, but nothing has really been said about it, and I want to know more like ASAP. I've got my cherry Dr. Pepper Zero, and I'm ready to sit down with the book and get part 2 done. Okay, I'll catch up with you guys later. Hey, you guys, quick update. I am about 300 pages through The God of the Woods. I haven't started the audiobook for No One Can Know yet. I am planning to start that tomorrow because I feel like I just didn't get to read enough today, and any time that I did anything other than reading, I just didn't want to listen to an audiobook today, so I figured I would start it tomorrow. I'm gonna make this quick because it's late. It's 9 o'clock and I'm tired, but I want to keep reading, and then I need to shower and like go to bed. It's really just that I'm absolutely loving this book. The whole entire time, this book has given me 5-star vibes where I'm hooked. I don't want to put the book down. Every chapter leaves me wanting more, but in the best way, where we're still finding stuff out. It's not like it's Pretty Little Liars vibes where it's like you never actually learned literally anything. This is one of those books that I am going to remember for the rest of my life. I already know that. Like, this is going to probably be one of my top thrillers ever. That's how good this book is, you guys. And to be honest, I was afraid maybe it was overhyped because I had been seeing so much about this book, but no, I'm loving it. But I will say, in my opinion, I don't think the 2 cases are actually connected. I know I said that in a thriller, coincidences are never a thing because it's a thriller. I think I said that in the beginning, like coincidences. In a thriller, I think not. In this one, I think it is maybe a coincidence. I don't know that the 2 cases are connected. Everything in me wants to stay up and read this freaking book, but I know to be a healthy wellness girly, I need to get I was gonna say 8 hours of sleep, but let's be honest, it's more like 6 to 7. But still, okay, I gotta at least try. Literally me saying I have to go proceeds to talk for 10 more minutes about the book. Okay, I gotta go to bed. I love you guys. I'll see you in the morning. Bye. Good morning, you guys. It is now the second day of our 24-hour readathon. This is my fresh hair, fresh from bed. I literally woke up and had to get straight into The God of the Woods again, and I finished it. You guys, I'm done. We're done with our first book of the 24-hour readathon. So this book ended up taking me about a little over 8 hours because I have 15 hours and like 35 minutes-ish left. So I've still got a good chunk of the 24-hour readathon to go, and right now I think it's around 10 or 10:30 on Saturday, the second day of the readathon. I think I can definitely get 8 hours or more of reading done today, which is amazing because then I can be back on track, because I definitely did not get 8 hours yesterday. I think I ended with like 6.5. Anyways, I woke up around 8 and I've been reading since then, and I'm finally down to where like I should have been last night, a little bit over, but still. So I had like an hour or 2 hours that I needed to add on to today's 8 hours to make up for yesterday, but oh my gosh, this book, you guys, this book was 5 stars. So good. I cannot recommend enough. If you love good storytelling, you'll love this book. It was such a good mystery, and there were 2 mysteries in it, so that was really fun. And then the way that everything ended, I was almost in tears. I just felt so much. I felt like I knew these characters. I was invested. If you take nothing else away from this 24-hour readathon, please read that book. Anyways, okay, so first book done, and we have a 5-star. Thank goodness this isn't a reading until I find a 5-star book or we'd be done. It can only go down from here, so that's fun. We are going to finally start No One Can Know. And just a refresher on this one, it is 2 sisters go back to their childhood home where their parents were murdered. One of them is pregnant, I believe. I still have 15 hours and 35 minutes, I believe, to go. Yes. Let's start reading / listening. Okay, bye. Hey guys, checking in. It is 4 p.m. on the second day of our readathon. I am 4.5 hours into No One Can Know, the audiobook, and it is pretty good so far. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I have been like nonstop listening to this and like cleaning, so my head is not in the game right now. I want to take a break, but I'm also like, that's the whole challenge though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole challenge of the 24 hours. So I'm trying my best to stay with it, but I am gonna say I'm already starting to feel a struggle, and it's not even that the book isn't good. It's just that I'm so tired of reading. I want to do anything else. I'm like, I want to like watch YouTube videos, which I could, but then I would need to make up the hours later. my thought is, let me just get these 8, like I need to get my timer down. Oh yeah, where's my timer at? So my timer is paused right now at 10 hours and 47 minutes, which means that that's how long I still have to go. I feel like now jumping into No One Can Know, like there's also stuff that's just freaking sad, and I'm just like, I need something uplifting and happy. Like I need something uplifting and happy, and this is why I'm so sad that I didn't have a romance picked out. But see, if this were a regular reading vlog, I would just start reading a romance. I wouldn't care. But because it's a challenge, like I am so competitive, even with myself. I've always been competitive. So like I'm that person in a game that's like everyone else is just like ha ha ha, and I'm like, we're playing a game. What do you think this is? Like this is serious. You think this is just Monopoly? Like get your head in the game. So for me, like I have to do this for myself. Like I have to finish. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep going, but like I definitely am just like fatigued on, I think, the thriller genre for right now. So I think in the beginning when I told you guys about this book, I said there were 2 sisters. Well, that was wrong. I don't know why. I must have just gotten it mixed up with a different book, but it's actually 3 sisters. So let me kind of give you a more detailed description of what this book is about without spoiling it. So there's 3 sisters, Daphne, Juliet, and Emma. Juliet's the oldest, Emma is the middle, and then Daphne is the younger girl. And they have a pretty bad home life, which you find out throughout the whole book. So those are the sisters whose parents were murdered, and you find that out right away. So they were murdered, and so we're going back and forth in between like the day, well, hours, I would say the hours leading up to when their parents are murdered, and then jumping back into like present time with all 3 of the sisters. And essentially the book is just trying to figure out who did it, and they kind of make you think it's one of the sisters, but I can't tell if, again, kind of like in The God of the Woods, they're trying to like lead you off track by giving you someone, like writing things in a way that makes you think it's them, but then in the end, like for a twist, it's not going to be them. I like the writing style a lot. So far, I've only listened to the audiobook, so I also really like the audiobook, obviously, but I'm just so tired of thrillers at this point. Like this 24-hour readathon is kicking my butt. I don't want to. I feel like a petulant child. I'm like,
I don't wanna read anymore.
See you guys in the next clip, whenever that ends up being. Hello, you guys. We have come to the last update of this reading vlog. So this is actually the next day after the last day of the reading vlog. I don't think I did any updates yesterday. I was so focused on getting done with No One Can Know and The Haunting of Ashburn House. Like I wanted to get it done before I updated you guys because I didn't feel like there was much I could say. So anyways, this is the final update. I have finished the reading vlog. I'm so glad that my first 24-hour readathon is done. I will say we started on such a high, and what I will update you with, let's just say things kind of went downhill. So yesterday I started the day with continuing to listen to No One Can Know, the audiobook. I finished it. So let's talk about that first. Let's talk about No One Can Know because I finished that one and then I started The Haunting of Ashburn House. So No One Can Know, I liked this book. There was something about it, I don't know, that kind of made me, and it might be this author for me. I previously started listening to an audiobook by that same author called, I believe it's by the same author, but now I'm questioning it. Yes, okay, I am correct. All right, I double checked it. So the same author that wrote No One Can Know also wrote What Lies in the Woods. My sister loves What Lies in the Woods. I tried to get into that book. I listened to it. It was an audiobook that I started because of her recommendation, and I got bored. Like I was really into it for like the first half, and then I just felt like it dragged on in a way that wasn't necessary. And I kind of felt the same way I felt about What Lies in the Woods, where it was like I was really into it, but it felt like it just dragged on, and I don't know why. So there's a part of me that's like, is it because I was doing a 24-hour readathon that I felt that way? But I didn't want to DNF it. Like I was curious about what the ending would be. I think I felt like there were just unnecessary things thrown in the middle, but I loved the beginning of it, and I did really like the end of it too. I just felt like we took too long to get to the end, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give that book a 4 stars because I do feel like I would recommend this book to people that love a good thriller. I think it really was, though, after reading The God in the Woods, or The God of the Woods, I feel like that book was so good that anything I'm gonna read after, I'm gonna feel like let down about. It was a good book overall, but not my favorite. Nothing I would write home about. I know that I'm gonna forget about this book. You know what I mean? It's gonna be one of those books where I'm not gonna think about it again. So it was just fine, but nothing special. And then, oh my gosh, okay, let's talk about The Haunting of Ashburn House. You guys, I ended up DNFing. I got over halfway through it and I couldn't. There's something about Darcy quotes writing that I feel like I have to be in that very specific mood or I am not going to be able to pay attention. Like, I just don't care. I had to stop. I tried so hard to finish it and I was like, I can't do this. I'm so bored. This is not keeping my attention at all. I couldn't do it. So I did DNF. The Haunting of Ashburn House, I don't recommend unless you are like 12 to 13, honestly. It was so boring. It was so boring. I would recommend reading literally anything else. It was so boring. So I don't think I'm ever going to pick up another Darcy Coates book, to be really honest with you guys, just because of that fact of it's so boring. And when I'm reading, I need something more than that. I can't read a boring book. It felt like a B-list horror movie, but the fact that it wasn't a movie and it was a book, so I had to read that instead of actually just watching a movie, because I love a bad horror movie. I love a bad horror movie, but I hate reading that. I don't want to read that. I want to watch that. So anyways, let's talk about my ratings. So The God of the Woods was my 5-star, incredible. I highly recommend. Please read that if you get the chance and you love a good thriller. No One Can Know. The audiobook was good, so I do recommend if you don't want to physically read it, the audiobook is just fine. Like, it's completely fine. There wasn't anything weird about it or anything I didn't like about it. And it's good. It's good if you just want a thriller. I'm going to rate it 4 stars because I do think it is a good thriller. It's not a 5-star for me. And then going on to The Haunting of Ashburn House, I DNF'd, so I'm not going to rate it. I think that's going to wrap up this reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me throughout this adventure. Definitely comment below and let me know if you guys have read any of these books and what your thoughts on them were. I have conquered all my April TBR, you guys. That's incredible. Literally all the books that I picked out of the jar for April, I either tried to read and DNF'd or I did read them. That's incredible. Go me. I'm so proud of myself. I love you guys so much and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.